Good morning, book lovers of the internet. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe because for every subscriber, I get a new subscriber and I read a page from a book of my choice. So, of course, today I am trying to be festive because it is Christmas Eve, and in today's video, I am also going to be reviewing a children's book which also pertains to this festive season, and Christmas is tomorrow. So, the book I am going to be reviewing today is called The Girl Who Saved Christmas by Matt Haig. I've read several books by this guy before, and I'll tell you what I think of him later on in the video, and I'll explain what the book is about. So, personally, I am not quite sure about the title because it seems misleading considering that Amelia, who is the main character, hardly did anything but complain, despite this all being for good reason, of course. This is a good Christmas story. In fact, I rated it 3 out of 5 stars, and it has about 330 pages or so with multiple illustrations. And despite this, it is not solely for children, and however, the main focus is on the conflict rather than on the Christmas spirit, and that kind of spoils the fun. It ruins the joy of the festive tone it is trying to set, I suppose. It contradicts itself. Reading this on Christmas Eve, I was hoping to see more joy, both human and the joy of all other creatures involved, but this wasn't particularly or primarily the case. Having read this after its sequel, in fact, I read the third book in the series first, called Father Christmas and Me by the same author. I haven't even read the first book in this trilogy. At this point, I think I'm going to have read it all backwards if I do get to the first one. I now know where the story is headed, and hence the cliffhanger with what's about to happen to Father Vodol hardly got on my nerves. Amelia basically loses her ability to believe in the impossible, in this one, in magic, due to all that happened to her over the course of a year. And I won't be spoiling anything, but she does go through a lot during the year when Santa doesn't deliver any gifts to her. Basically, it's kind of like an Oliver Twist, um, Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens sort of themed book. And I'm sure that Charles Dickens, despite also being a character in the story itself, the author was a huge inspiration to Matt Haig when he was writing this book. In my opinion, Haig is one of those authors who I don't think of too highly. In fact, I'd refer to him as a mid-author, and I've read quite a few books by him now, including The Midnight Library and How to Stop Time. And I, however, appreciate his talent at being able to write both for older and for younger audiences. The illustrations are very Roald Dahl, David Walliams coded, and hence not at all disappointing. The only thing that was irritating was how this all took place in the 18th century, so if I remember correctly, in the 1700s, and hence London at the time was gloomy and filthy, depressing even during the reign of Queen Victoria. And of course, there couldn't be any hope there, so why Santa would still strive to find Amelia rather than any other child who'd received presents 2 years prior to get it all going again eludes me. I mean, surely there must have been another child who appreciated the gifts more than Amelia did, but Santa still strives to find her instead. And I think it's the case that the Wishheart girl has plot armor, and she's of course very central to the happenings in the third book, from my understanding. Father Christmas and Me, the me over there, of course, refers to um, Amelia. So, the flying story pixies are of course a nuisance, so if you were to read the book you'd understand why, and were it up to me they'd all be executed for lying, and of course being manipulated by Father Vodol, whose ultimate plan was to start a war between the elves and the trolls and ruin Christmas forever. In any context, I hate lying absolutely, and manipulation pisses me off, so yeah, that would have been a very suitable punishment for all of them. And just wanting to ruin Christmas for such a petty reason is so immature of Father Vodol, who is centuries old. I'm not sure whether or not it's necessary for me to read the first book in this trilogy now, but that's what I said about this one, the second one last year, after having finished the third. And yes, it's been a year since I finished reading the third book, so I can't really say I remember much of it either, save for the most important parts. What's interesting is how the story moves back and forth between what's happening at Elfhelm and in London, where Wishart is being abused. And the resolve towards the end is very rushed and leaves many questions unanswered, almost as though all conflict should be ignored just because it is Christmas Day, which I don't think should be the case and doesn't really make much sense to me. Noosh and Little Mim are rather cute, yet my favorite character is still the cat, Captain Suit, who belongs to Amelia and keeps her company in her darkest of times wherever he could, of course. Overall, I think that reading this would have been a waste of time weren't it for the short chapters and multiple illustrations, as well as the fast pace of the story. And I would very much like to start believing in magic again, as I used to when I was younger, but there isn't much in life for me to be particularly happy about at the moment, since I am constantly on the grind both with university, with exercise, and with YouTube. And yeah, constantly trying to make myself better, which is not easy, but is a step that has to be taken and maintained in order for me to see progress in the coming months, hopefully. Anyway, that's all I had to say about the second book in this trilogy called The Girl Who Saved Christmas by Matt Haig, and the illustrations by Chris Mould, who also deserves a shout out in this video. If you've read this trilogy, let me know what you thought of it. If you have any Christmas book recommendations, please let me know in the comment section. And as usual, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do anything you can to help out the channel. I'll try to upload more later on in the day. Thank you so much for watching and have a very Merry Christmas tomorrow if you celebrate the holiday. If you don't, I still hope you have a festive season and get to meet your families. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.